What's up, everybody? Hi, it's me, Darius, but you know this because you're watching the video. I have been trying to get this video done for a while. It's been in my brain where I've been like, I need to have a conversation with y'all, but I just, time is filled with swift transition, and I've just been swamped between travels and countries and Curacao to America, America to Taiwan, Taiwan. It's just been a mess, okay? But I'm here in Bali, Indonesia. I need to do a bit of a follow-up video to a video I did probably 2 years ago. There's two videos that I have floating around the internet. The first video is why you should never open a restaurant, and the second video was why I closed my restaurant. So I know I told you before I would never open up another restaurant again, but the circumstances have slightly changed, so I feel like I owe you a bit of an explanation. So, 5 parts. The first is never say never. Well, you can say never, because I guess when it comes to opening restaurants in America, I'm pretty much like, that ship has pretty much sailed. Like, I'm not even remotely interested in doing it because of a lot of the factors that go into running a restaurant in America. Just doesn't make it super profitable. The labor costs are astronomical. The food, just think about what you spend at the grocery store now for food, right? So imagine putting together a business model whereby food is involved and food is the product. We're already, sort of behind the 8 ball just from that alone, not to mention all of the other astronomical costs associated with running a restaurant. I just think there's better ways to make money, right? So I'll give you an example of what I mean when I say there's better ways to make money. Right now, I could open up a restaurant anywhere in the States, Houston, Atlanta, Chicago, you name it. And that restaurant on a monthly basis could probably gross, on a monthly basis, let's say we're super conservative, so weekends are important, so $25K on a Saturday, it's gotta be more than that, $35K on a Saturday, plus $35K on a Sunday, plus maybe another throughout the week, 35, maybe another 40K. So you're looking at, quick math, about $110,000 a week times 4, about $440,000 a month, right? That's not a bad idea, not a bad time. Most high volume restaurants could pull that off with no problem, right? So $440 a month. The problem you have with $440 a month, while that sounds extremely attractive, how much does it cost for you to make $440 a month? And what is the headache and the headache costs associated with making $440,000 a month? That's the part we don't think about, right? You got labor costs. Labor is going to eat up 60% of this. So our 440 times 60% is 264 minus 440. So we are already at 176,000. We done went from 440,000 to 176,000. That's just to cover payroll for the month. Not to mention, you've also got food costs associated. That's another 30% of this. You can kind of see where I'm getting at, right? By the time you get done with everything, it's like you made 440,000 came into your account, but you're only keeping 20,000 of the 440,000. And is that worth the headache associated when you could, now you're only keeping about 20K, right, for yourself. But you could go live on live stream 3 times a week. You could create a little bit of viral content. You could jar the algorithm slightly, and then you could go live and sell your own products to the tune of $10,000 at least per night, right? So if we go live 3 times a week, that's $30,000 a week times 4, you're at $120,000. Plus ad revenue is another $25,000 on top of that. So you're looking at about $145,000. Now I know what you're saying, Darius, What about the labor cost associated with it? I'm glad you asked me. I run very lean. I have one full-time employee and a bunch of day laborers that are responsible for packaging all of the things that come out of the warehouse. So by the time you get done, your $145,000, if you take away the expense that you spent for operations, you take away your capital expense, you're left with about $110,000 in your pocket, right? Or in the company's pocket, not in my pocket, in the company's pocket versus $20,000 and the headache associated with it, right? And in many cases, you can make some of this money while you're traveling, while you're traversing the earth, while you're on airplanes, doing the whole bit, right? So, never say never, but there's just easier ways to make money. And I have sort of tapped into what this looks like and sort of how this works. And it's been remarkable is what it's been. All right. So let me bring you up to speed on how this whole project, this whole idea, this whole Bali thing even came about, right? So I've told the story several times on Instagram Live and a couple times on my Facebook Live, but here's how it went. So my best friend and I, Valencia, we love to travel, we love to eat. And so we're on the phone one day and we're saying, hey, let's go eat someplace. Let's fly, let's just live life, and go. And so we said, okay, well, where we gonna go? Child, where you wanna go? So she said, I don't know how we came up with Bali, but we just said, okay, let's go to Bali. Neither of us had ever been to Bali. So we're like, okay, cool. Bali sounds like an entire vibe. Let's go and let's do Bali. So we come to Bali and honey, this thing books every tour, every excursion, you name it. Okay. Now look here, Valencia. Give me a sec. Let me get caught up a little bit. So she books this cooking class. So we did a cooking class in Spain together. And so this is nice to, sort of continue the tradition. So a cooking class here. So she booked it. I had nothing to do with it. I don't even think I paid her back for it, did I? Well, she's my friend. So no, I probably didn't pay her back. I probably should cash out her. But I don't know how much it costs. Anyway. So we go to this class. I knew I was coming to Bali. At the time, I had a videographer, Corey, working for me. You guys should know that. He's no longer with me. He got into some trouble. And so, had to part ways. No hard feelings. Life, what does it do? It goes on. You know what I mean? So, all right. So we come to Bali. We're going to do this cooking class. And, we show up at the class, child. We're on time. And there's this guy who's leading the class. He's Indonesian, but he's talking like he has a bit of an American accent. And it's tripping me out because my only experience with Bali and with Indo people up until this point has been, they've had an accent. So this guy is talking with like an American accent to the point where I'm communicating with him in slang. Here's what I mean. If you're in America and somebody comes up to you and clearly there's a language barrier, you're going to, sort of slow the speech down. You're going to, be sort of direct and you're going to make sure there's diction involved, right? You're not going to speak slang to, somebody from Ukraine show up at your front door. You're going to be like, what up, bro? You ain't going to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you do, my dude? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how you're communicating. I caught myself like dipping off into some vernacular from the African-American experience. And I was like, wait a minute, this is interesting that I'm doing this. So anyway, as this guy is talking, because the cooking class starts at the market, right? So as he's talking, I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm tripped out. I have it all on video, but I'm tripped out at how he is communicating. I'm like, there's no way this man is Indonesian. He's been to America, plain and simple. So we ask him, what is his name? He says, oh, my name is Tommy. Oh, that's a very non-Indonesian name. What's your last name? He says Ford. Okay, Tommy Ford. Immediately I go, you're joking with me. You've watched Martin at some point. You know who Tommy Ford is. And he's like, no, that's my real name. I didn't believe him. So we're at the market's going good. We get in the car. No, we're all lined up. Us, the Chinese people, the Australian people, we all at the class, the students, right? And we were gonna get on the van, but we were the last three. Me, Valencia, and Corey were the last three. So we couldn't fit on the van. And so we were supposed to go to wherever the van was going. It was like 2 classes. We were going to be in that particular cooking class. Well, there was no room, right? And so Tommy says, oh, well, you guys just come ride with me. And we go, okay, we'll just ride with you. And we're joking because I'm listening to his accent. So I'm saying, you know, all the black people are together, whatever, you know, all jokes. So we're in the car. And of course, we're asking a gazillion questions about culture, about how things work. And so, and this is all on video, all right? I haven't posted it yet because I don't know why I want to rework it and make it better. But anyway, it's all on video. So I go, where's this? Do you guys have like macaroni and cheese? You have collard greens? He's like, yeah, we have macaroni and cheese, but like at a bar, you know, like at a pub or something like that. I was like, what about like the fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, cornbread? He was like, no, we don't have like that kind of like black American food, that black American soul food. We don't have that. And I said, oh, really? He said, no, but he was like, if that was here, it would be amazing. I said, oh, I bet it would be pretty dope. Would it be a line down the street? He was like, and he just lit up. He was like, oh my God, the line will be down the street, the people, da, 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 da. He went crazy. At this point, he doesn't know me. I don't know him, right? So he doesn't know what I do. I don't know what he does. It's just a conversation. So we're continuing the convo, and we get out the car to go into the cooking class, and he's just still like on 15. He's like, his excitement about the possibility of a soul food restaurant. Again, he still doesn't know me, doesn't know who I am, no idea, right? And so I was like, well, why haven't you done it? You know, why haven't you opened a restaurant? He's like, well, you know, it's the money. You got to have the money. And he's like, we do good, but, you know, we can't afford, you know, a couple $100,000 to start a restaurant. I said, okay, cool, I got you. So I said, why don't you give me your card? I said, I'll email you. He was like, well, you know, here's my card, but you know, WhatsApp is a little quicker. So if you want to, I said, okay, cool. So that was it. So we're having a conversation like in the thing, and I'm asking him, I'm like, well, how much does it cost to open a restaurant? Because I'm completely curious as to like the amount of the cost, right? And so he's like, oh, between 300 and 400,000. And so I'm like, that's a lot of money, right? $400,000 to open a restaurant. I can open up a restaurant for $150 in the States, all in. You know what I'm saying? I'm renting, I don't own it, but I can open up but when I say, oh God, that's a lot of money. I didn't realize he was talking about rupiahs, right? And it was 300 million rupiah, which comes out to be like $30,000, $40,000, which if you were opening a regular plain Jane restaurant here in Bali, that's exactly what it would cost, right? Like 30 grand, which is completely unheard of. I didn't realize he meant rupiah. So in my mind, I'm thinking, wait a minute, a restaurant in Bali for $50,000? I gotta do it, right? I gotta see what it's about. So we start having more and more conversation, and, you know, I guess at first I was like, this is scary for me. This is different for me. How do we make this happen, right? In a way that's safe for me and for my investment. And so we're having like conversations, and I'm just like super excited. And I was like, how easy is it to find land? He was like, it's so very easy. There's land everywhere in Bali. I was like, okay. Because again, you know, in my mind, all I know is America. I know how America works. So he's like, there's land everywhere. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we're having more and more conversation. And I'm like, okay, are you free? Like, because I can't sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was like that evening of the cooking class. I'm like, I can't sleep. Like, thinking about this as a possibility. Plus, you have to remember, this is coming off the heels of the scammer allegations, the doxing shit that's all died down now. It's coming off the heels of that. So, you know, this is like a fresh opportunity that sounds very attractive to me. And so I was like, I can't sleep. So the next morning I had texted him, but he wasn't responding to my text. So I'm like, oh, okay, he on some BS. But so I called him, and he's like, oh, I'm in my cooking class right now. I'll call you as soon as I'm done. I was like, oh, okay, my bad, bro. So he videos me. He was like, well, I can pick you up and we can go look at some land. Now, the day before that, we looked at the land. Valencia, and Corey, he took us around. He showed us places like the Lawn, Boss Man Burgers, the Forge, the whatever the damn pub is, the UK fish and chips place, the Lawn. I can't remember, child. The Gate or something, child. Too much weed. I can't remember. Anyway, so we go around to all these places, and I'm looking at and I'm observing how he's interacting. Now, we went to the Lawn. The Lawn was not expecting us to show up, right? We go in the front door. We get to the security stand. The security knows Tommy. They're hugging. Oh my God, brother, what's going on? Okay, so you know people. Got it. We go inside. Almost every employee stops to greet Tommy, to hug Tommy. So who in the fuck is Tommy? How's he? What is he, like the mayor over here? Why does everybody know him? So then we go to the UK place, like the fish and chips place. I can't think of the name, y'all. I'm sorry. So we go to the fish and chips place, and we walk in, and again, security, brother, what's up, brother? Then, we walk in, and he's talking to the people in the kitchen. He's walking behind the counter. He's making himself a cappuccino, right? So then we go upstairs. It's common to have staff rest areas in big restaurants here in Indonesia, in Bali. So we go upstairs, and the staff is like laid out. Some are like sleeping, napping, or whatever. And there's like a manager on a computer doing some work. And again, not expecting us to show up. We walk in the door upstairs, the employees stop and wake up, and oh my God. And then the lady on the computer walks over to Tommy, hugs him. I'm looking like, okay, girl, I know who I am in America, but I don't know who this man is. This is crazy that all these people are like, not bowing at his feet, but definitely showing reverence. I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy as hell to me. So anyway, all good things. So that was day one. The next day, we go to look at land. So if you drive in Indonesia, there's signs for rent, land for sale, land, it's everywhere. And we were on our way to one spot that he knew of, but we were passing up another one. I said, oh, this place is open. This is a thing right here. What about here? So we pull over and we call, and the son answers the phone. Son's like 35, I guess. The son answers the phone and says, when my father gets home, we can meet the father and we could figure it out. So now we have a meeting. Right, I'm learning how they work. In America, you do everything over the phone or Zoom or whatever. In Bali, you go to their house, you sit down. It's a whole customary thing. So we go to meet the father or the family, pretty much the father and the son. So we go over there, and the father's not home from work quite yet. Comes in like 20 minutes. So we pull up to like this market, I guess, like this convenience store, for lack of a better term. And we walk behind the counter and out into like the estate where these people live. And it's tripped out because this their house, but houses in Bali, traditional houses, are not just one structure. It could be 4, 5, 6 structures on a piece of land with an outdoor kitchen. It's tripped out. It's just the way they work here. So I'm sitting on the front porch, I guess it's called the front porch, the living room. Girl, I don't know, I'm sitting down. And, we drinking water. They talking in their language. Girl, I can't understand nothing they saying. I'm like, just listening for my name. That's it. And the father comes in. He's on his scooter with this like dingy gray security shirt on and these, security pants. And I'm thinking, well, I got to send money to these people. And I got to send a lot of money to these people. These people don't look like they have any money. They don't look rich to me, right? I'm about to wire a lot of money, okay? And they don't look rich. Who are these people? Why they don't have no money? So as I'm thinking this, but my Capricorn business mind is like, Darius, ask Tommy what the hell is going on. So at a break in the conversation, I approached Tommy and I said, he came in with this shirt on and his scooter, and I don't know if he really got no money like that. Hey, Tommy laughs. He cracks up. I was like, what's funny? He was like, Darius, this is the police chief of Bali. Oh. What kind of God will quell all of your concerns and all of your fears by randomly assigning the police chief of Bali to the land that you're randomly about to get. No idea, right? Crazy. So we have a conversation, we negotiate the land, and the landowner says this. He says, because they're pretty like upfront people here. So he's like, you can do this on the land. You can do whatever you want. I'm fine with this. Obviously, he didn't say it in English. He said, I'm fine with this, but I got to see two things. One, I need to see a partnership agreement that says that you, Darius, are the owner. Because what he did not want to have happen is to have a situation where Tommy was trying to get over on me, right? And on him at the same time. So, and he's the police chief now. So he's got a little bit of agency here to make sure everything is above brow. So he says we have to have the agreement. So we said, cool, not a big deal. We do the agreement. Everything's cool. And then he says, because we are in Bali, Bali's 10% Christian, but the other 90% is Hindu. And then outside of Hindu, it's all Muslim. So, there's a huge religious landscape here for people, of faith. So he says to me, you have to have an altar so that the employees can pray if they happen to be Hindu, Muslim, whatever the case may be. Not a big deal, right? This is their custom. This is what happens in a different country. So I said, sure, absolutely. So that was that, right? Deal's done in 24 hours. In literally 24 hours, we had a partnership agreement, land negotiated, and a deposit paid on the land in 24 hours. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Okay, so that's how it happened. Now, why am I turned off from doing business or opening restaurants in the United States? I'll tell you a couple of reasons. I think I could excel again at restaurants, so that doesn't bother me at all. My issue is once you've seen the light on making money, and again, if you are and this is no shade to anybody, but if you are low to mid-income earner, this is not a conversation that you could sit in, right? This is more of a conversation for those people who are, approaching the 7-figure range. They make multi-7 figures, deca millionaires, things like that, right? This is a conversation to have about that, right? Because what we know is that we spend money to make more money. That's what we do. And in America, it just seems like the restaurant industry in and of itself, you're not getting ahead. You're not. I got a buddy right now paying $29,000 a month for rent. Girl, $29,000 US a month for rent. I don't give a shit how much steak, fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, girl, foie gras, salmon roll you selling. I don't care. I'm not paying $29,000 a month for nothing. But that's what it costs in America. Not only that, the bureaucracy, the red tape, you've also got to remember that I'm highly loved as well as highly hated, okay? I am highly loved and I am also highly hated. And so for me, the haters will do whatever they can. We've seen this over and over again. Girl, do a diner with Darius Cooks, honey. I had them literally on their toes trying to figure out my next move. In America, they could do things like call the health department and lie, right? They could write bogus reviews on Google and lie. Things like that, right? That could really have, unfortunately, a damning effect. So I'm not necessarily, and again, I could combat all that. I could easily just, send an email. I got, 600,000 people on my email list. I could just send an email and say, could y'all go to this link and type a positive review? Boom, done. You know what I'm saying? We can combat that, but I don't want to use my platform or my community in that way unless I need to, child. And I haven't needed to. So we'll keep it the way it is. But just with the red tape and the bureaucracy and you're just not making enough money. I'm sorry. The best thing I could have ever did was close those 3 restaurants. Honey, I could sell skillets until I die, right? I could sell skillets here, skillets there, skillets everywhere, and be over in this country, be in that country, minding my business, still making goo gobs of money. So this was literally the best choice, the best decision for me to move forward. But when you think about just what you have to go through. Like, nobody's thinking about with a restaurant staff, right? Minimum wage, you got to be able to at least pay that. You got to be able to retain talent, so you got to pay more than minimum wage. The capital startup costs, astronomical. The licenses, you need one for the state, one for the city, one for the county, one for the block, one for the zip code, one for the area code. You know, liquor license for this, background for this, and not a big deal. We can pass all those things. It's just, gosh, you have to jump through so many hoops just to get stuff done, and it is a complete turnoff for me. So that's like one of the main reasons I'm not attracted to opening restaurants in America anymore. See, in Bali, you got to understand, there's no there's no licensing to open up a restaurant, right? There's no health department, you know, there's no permits for any of this stuff. There's no regulation on pretty much any of this, unless you're making big bucks, and then you got to make sure you got your ducks lined up in a row, which we have. So that makes it much more attractive. There's no serve safe, right? And again, you go, well, what if people get sick? Honey, this is Bali, child. If you go to that local market and see them people, what they doing at that local market, some of them eat rats, and I'm not exaggerating. Some of the people eat the rats, the rodents that are around, the chicken, the poultry. Will sit out all day, raw, under the Balinese sun, okay? And they will, and honey, flies and maggots, they get it, wash it off, take it, go. That's the local market. At some point, we'll talk about differences between local market and the tourism economy, which is just, their standards are, if not Western, more than Western standards. So there is a space here for those of us who are from economies like America. But, you know, there's no sort of regulation on a lot of stuff, which makes it extremely attractive. If you are the kind of person that has the disposable income, or the capital, I should say, the capital, you come to a place like this, it's extremely attractive, especially because Bali is on the verge of a growth spurt, right? There's currently 6 million people that live in Bali, but they get somewhere around 6 million visitors. So their tourism economy basically doubles the population, right? These people need someplace to eat, someplace to stay, someplace to shop, all these things, right? And this is where you come in. The other difference that I love about here is everyone loves, you know, black hip hop, R&B culture here. They love it. The reality is that there's not one black DJ here. There's not one black restaurant, black American restaurant in Bali. Not one. Not one. So I said, okay, I'm going to learn how to be DJ feel good on the ones and twos, right? And I'm going to open up hip hop soul. I have zero competition, right? And if I were to get competition, it would be very slim, because knowing what I know now, you'd have to be black, right, to open up a soul food spot in Bali. You'd have to have the capital to do that, the interest level to do that, and you need a Balinese business partner, boots on the ground, that speaks the language and can get things done that you can't get done, because the moment they see you coming, they're tripling the prices because you're a foreigner and you have the disposable income or the capital, right? I'll give you an example. The whole project for our restaurant is about $315,000. That is from the ground up to build it, it's $315,000. There was an Australian company I had a conversation with, thinking you could just have these conversations, no big deal. The Australian guy says, for the framing alone, $700,000. For the framing alone, $700,000. It's like $3 million for the project. Sir, you can kiss my $3 million ass. It's not happening, okay? So there are stark differences between how businesses run in Bali versus how businesses run in the United States. And to be in a position where I'm operating from my skill level, I'm operating from my strength, I have I have no competition. It's great. Plus, if we go a step further, no hater can touch me. It's true. I know you hate to hear this if you're watching it and you're a hater, but you can't touch me. You can't stop anything. You certainly can't get on a plane and fly over here. You're not, what are you coming over here for? 10,000 miles away to do what? to look at the building, because you're not getting in. We have security. Also, you can't say, I'm going to come to Bali and shoot you and take you out, because guns are illegal and you would get stopped at the airport. So what you going to do? Jelly bean me to death? What you going to do? Corn on the cob me to death? You know what I'm saying? That's about it. So to be in this position is super, super, super amazing. So let me end this on positive notes about the updates on where things are. So I came to Bali this time because we had our groundbreaking ceremony. We had that a little while ago, like 3 days ago. That was amazing, fantastic. And they've already started. The pool is dug up and we've got the excavator. There's the electricity. The well has been dug for the water. So really great progress happening. There are 15 guys on the job. They actually sleep on the site. At some point before I leave in a couple of days, I'll go back and do some video. But they build these like huts, or these like sheds, if you will. And this is where the guys sleep, in these sheds, and they're working day in, day out. It's crazy to see how this works. I'm still learning, but to witness it is pretty interesting. They say about 6 months they'll be done. We're pushing it out for a full year. We know how this goes. So we're looking at somewhere between summer and possibly fall of 2025 will be open, right? So I'll be coming back out here in a couple months for the long haul. So I'll be doing a couple months stint here, a couple months stint there, and we'll make it happen. All right, so that is what I wanted to get on this video and talk to you about, lead you in from start to finish. Again, there's a lot to go through, especially if you're not a close follower. If you're a close follower, everything I just said, you know. But I do realize not everybody is tuned in to every Instagram Live or Facebook Live, and I know how that goes sometimes. So wanted to give it to you in one succinct video so you can watch this, and this should get you filled in from start to finish. All right. Any questions, put them in the comment section. I do peruse the comment section here and there. If there are too many questions, that'll be great, because that'll prompt me to do another video, because maybe I forgot something in this. I'm off the dome with this. I got a couple of notes written, but nothing super concrete. So I could have missed something, or you may have other questions, but by all means, leave them in the comment section, and let me hop to it and get to you when I can, all right? Stay tuned. Lots of great things still happening. Nothing's changing in terms of content, restaurant reviews, new products, Black Friday, all that stuff is still happening as it normally does, all right? I'll see you out here on these internet streets, y'all. 2 things I want to tell you, as I always do. Food is my life. Life is my food. Until next time, I do want to wish you a happy cooking, eating, surviving, and living, and thriving from my heart to yours. Bye, y'all.